He's won so many stake races, just countless.
Keith Clark, you know, he's always been the #1 guy out west here.
You know, he just had great racehorses and knew how to get them ready. I just think that they dominated this racetrack.
The nice thing about harness racing is you can look after them and train them, drive them yourself if you're capable, and that's what I like the best. Born into it. My dad had horses, but I was on the cart probably when I was 7 or 8 years old, jogging a horse, and never quit.
Well, nobody's got work ethic like Keith. He's the first one there, last one to leave.
Utmost respect for anybody that puts the work in, the hours, the years that he's put in. He's as hard a worker as any person I'd ever seen in the game.
Tireless worker, and he's a professional. He doesn't cut any corners.
The big thing that drove me, I think, was don't worry about the wins you had yesterday. Don't worry about the ones you're getting today.
First-class horse, he overpowers them in the Brad Gunn Stake Final.
I was always worrying about how many I could win tomorrow.
And that's 6,500 wins for the legend, Keith Clark.
He had a really good eye for horses.
The developer of a lot of tremendously good horses.
As promised, was an amazing horse, very well bred. I think he won 18 races in a row one time here in Alberta.
As promised, delivered, as promised.
And he gave me so many thrills. That'll be me. Great horse, toughest horse I ever drove.
That'll be me is turning it up.
He went as fast as he could every time.
That'll be me, an open lake winner.
A huge upset in the Cadillac Breeders' Crown. That'll be me.
I had one mindset, and that was winning races, and sometimes I got caught up too much in that.
Well, he's been a vicious competitor as long as I've ever been racing. I learned a lot from him, especially business-wise. Classifying horses, buying good horses, and putting them in where they belong.
He could read the program. He literally, before he went out on the race, he knew every horse in the race, and he knew where he wanted to be, and he knew, you know, who his competitors were and who wasn't.
He was the kind of a guy that he'd do the unexpected. You'd have to go to plan B all the time. He was just a real tough guy to drive against.
He drove to win every race he was in. Once he went behind that gate, it was 100% business.
I had an opportunity, and I thought, well, you know, I'll just step out with him this one time, and 22 years later, here we are. We're still partners.
I've had a lot of good owners while I've been in this business, but I've also had a lot of good help.
He's carried lots of us along with work and being in the fold of all this, so it was pretty thrilling to watch it all.
He was a great guy to work for, very knowledgeable, obviously. He wouldn't be who he was.
And without help, you can't be successful.
The Canadian Horse Racing Hall of Fame is proud to induct Keith Clark.
Well, when I got into the Hall of Fame, it was probably the biggest surprise ever for me. If there's anything I could say to young people today starting out, it'd be don't be scared to invest some of your own money when you can, buying a horse and owning pieces of them yourself. And your owners love you having a little skin in the game. So if you believe in yourself, then you should own part of the horse, and that's where you make the real money. Sometimes I was favorite when I shouldn't have been, and lots of people just said, just bet Clark when you go to the races, you'll do good. I'll always remember that.
I don't think anybody living here today will win as many stake races as Keith Clark. No, it'll never be duplicated.